Happy Holy Hump Day on this September 1st, everyone. I'm Pastor Robert, and welcome to this midweek time where I can share some spiritual thoughts and reflections with you. I'm here in this wooded area because I thought this would be a good location since today we celebrate the birthday anniversary of Peter Cartwright. So who is Peter Cartwright? No, he wasn't one of the Bonanza brothers from that famous TV show back in the 70s and 60s. He was a Methodist circuit riding preacher. Here's a photo of Reverend Peter Cartwright, and he is probably one of the most known Methodist circuit riding preachers, a lot because he wrote an autobiography in 1856 about his career as a Methodist preacher, which I think you would find interesting. You can find that through you can get a hard copy of it, but you can also download it as digitally, which I did. And so it's the autobiography of Peter Cartwright. But anyway, Peter Cartwright was born in Virginia in 1785, and he died in Illinois in 1872. He lived to be 87 years old. And here comes a bunny rabbit and ran right through the woods there. That's fun. And so, you know, what was a Methodist circuit riding preacher? Well, they were called that because they would get on their horse and ride from village to village to village and just do what was called a circuit, going from place to place so that they could help these new Methodist class groups to continue to grow in their faith, living out what it means to be a follower of Jesus. And they were known, these Methodist circuit riding preachers were known to travel through any kind of weather. Nothing really stopped them through hail or wind or rain or snow. And they were pretty tough. They were known to be tough. In fact, in Peter Cartwright's autobiography, he talks about when he was preaching at this very large camp meeting. They were known as camp meetings, where they would just gather a lot of people because that was the social event to bring people together, and they would have preachers and other people entertain the crowd. But Peter Cartwright was preaching, and it's been told that there were some people up to no good, and they were actually it was physical, a threat of physical violence too on people in the crowd that he was preaching to. And so the people that were kind of the bodyguards at this camp meeting were fearful of this group of guys that were up to no good. And so Peter Cartwright took matters in his own hand. While he was preaching, he took a couple of them down, as he's probably still preaching about God's love, and just to kind of get them to stop threatening the people. And then he continued on. So you have all these incredible stories in his autobiography. But I just think it's important for us to remember the Methodist circuit riders who were the ones responsible for starting all of the Methodist churches that you see dotted on our landscape. And even here in Southeast Ohio, you see all these Methodist churches. Many of them are these little tiny rural churches. And Peter Cartwright was part of the hawking circuit back in the early 1800s. I also think it's interesting that Peter Cartwright went to a campground meeting, and that's when he became a believer in Jesus, and that led him to want to become a Methodist preacher. And he became, like I said, one of the most well-known of the Methodist circuit riding preachers. So today we just say happy birthday anniversary to Peter Cartwright. I invite you to join us for worship this Sunday. We're going to be focusing on the theme, the Royal Law, which comes to us from our New Testament scripture reading for this Sunday from the book of James, the letter of James. And we're also going to be celebrating the Sacrament of Holy Communion, so please join us for worship this Sunday. And also continue to celebrate Peter Cartwright's birthday anniversary. Happy birthday, Peter Cartwright.